Alright, so we have another MathVisa video here today. Today, our goal is to solve an equation in two variables for y. Alright, so the first equation that we have here, we want to isolate the y. So what I suggest when you have two variables and you're solving for a specific one is that you highlight the variable in question that you're solving for. So I'm going to highlight the y in all of these problems that I'm doing. So I need to move things in terms so that I can get the y by itself. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to subtract this 2x over to the other side of the equation. Okay, that starts to get things away from that y. So now I'm left with negative 5y is equal to, I always like to put my x's first, and here's why. When we get to slope-intercept form, it's y equals mx plus b. So we always want to keep it with the x term first and then the y-intercept. It's okay to write it the other way, but we always want to try and write it in that form so that we can get used to seeing it like that. So we're going to get negative 2x plus 10. Now the reason why these two terms cannot be put together is because they're not like terms. Constants and variable terms cannot be put together. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the negative 5 in front of y by dividing it. Since it's multiplied with it originally, to get rid of it, we divide. So now y is alone by itself, and we get y is equal to, well, negative 2 over negative 5. We always like to leave that as a fraction, and you'll see why in our next unit. But what we're going to do is we're just going to get rid of the negative over negative and make it 2/5 x. Now, if you're questioning how to get that into your calculator as a fraction, you can also look at my other video on graphing calculator tips. So then, we're going to do 10 divided by negative 5, and that is minus 2. So now this equation has been solved for y. Alright, so our next equation that we're going to look at is as follows. So now, how do I move the x term over to the other side? That's the question. Well, here, I'm going to move the x term by adding it, because it's subtracted here, so I add 3x to both sides. So now I get 4y is equal to 3x minus 16. Again, the sign that's to the left of the variable term is the one that applies to it. So now, we divide by the number that's in front of the y and divide by 4. So now we're going to get y is equal to, since we divided by 4, y is alone, 3 over 4x, right? The number on the top goes on the top, the one on the bottom stays there, minus 4. So negative 16 divided by 4 is negative 4. And now our equation has been solved for y again. So, for today, here is your bonus question. Solve for y. Enjoy!